it's been a while since I've done a makeup tutorial, and as soon as I saw this look on Kim Kardashian at the Met Gala, I was like, yes, that is right up my street. It was such a gorgeous goldeny bronze smoky eye, super dewy skin, a nudie lip, and I asked on Twitter what you guys wanted to see. It was kind of split between this and a summer makeup look, so I'm just gonna do both, but I hope you guys enjoy this makeup look. I'm going to start everything off by applying my sticky notes onto my eyes, and this just helps act as a nice shadow shield. So I just take them from the corner of my eye to the corner of my brow, as I always do, and then I'm going to start by enhancing my crease, and I'm going to use the shade MAC Cork and just apply that in my socket, mainly focusing it on the outer corner and bringing it all the way into the inner corner of my eye on this fluffy brush, really working up the colour, focusing the majority of the colour on the outside and then bringing it all the way in. Then I'm going to use a lighter shade. This is the shade Wedge by MAC, and I'm going to take that on a slightly fluffier brush and sweep that just above where I applied MAC Cork, just to blend in that line, make it a bit more smoky, a bit more seamless. Then I'm going to take a slightly more pointed brush. This is MAC Texture. Because I want the eyes to look really elongated and lifted, I am focusing the majority of the product like on the outside corner of my eye, but I'm also going to bring that into the inner corner as well. To blend everything in, make sure it all looks nice and flawless, I'm going to take this fluffy brush with no product on it at all and just blend everything together using windswipe motions, making sure the three colours look like a nice gradient. This is one of my favourite products. It's by Tarte. It's their Ombre Blackstar. It's in the golden shade and it is so pigmented. You guys can see this now. I'm just applying a little thick line along my lash line. This is going to act as a base for my shadow, and it just makes the shadows appear so much more pigmented, and it makes them last longer as well and not crease. So I'm just going to blend out that line with my finger, remove my sticky note, and then do the same on the other side. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know I'm obsessed with the L'Oreal Ombre Pure eyeshadows. I'm going to leave the shade names of everything in the information box below, but I'm going to take this golden one here. I find that these eyeshadows work best when I'm using them with my fingers, so I'm just going to take my little pinky finger and dab that all over where I applied the by Tarte product, mainly focusing it on my lid, staying below the crease. Then I'm going to take whatever's left over on the first brush I used when I used it with MAC Cork, and I'm just going to blend together the lid shade with my crease shade. Then I'm going to take another L'Oreal Ombre Pure eyeshadow. I seriously just can't get enough of these. It's also slightly golden, but it's just a little bit lighter, and I'm just going to press that on my pinky finger again on the inner corner of my eye. This kind of brightens everything up. It gives the eye a bit more dimension, makes everything a bit more sultry. Reaching for the MAC 217, which didn't have any product on it again, I'm just going to make sure everything looks nice and blended by just running that with windswipe motions all over where I applied the eyeshadow. Next, I'm going to move on to my liner. Now, Kim had a really nice thin liner. She also had a slight wing, but nothing too dramatic or anything, so I'm going to use my Kat Von D tattoo liner, and I'm just sweeping that along my lash line and then winging it out a tiny bit. It was quite a prominent line. There was definitely no blending or anything involved, so I'm just going to leave my eyeliner as it is. I'm going to move on to my skin now. Kim's skin was seriously glowing. She literally looked like she had just, I don't even know, like she just looked flawless. So I'm going to use my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. You can see as soon as I apply it, it just gives the skin the most incredible glow. Then I'm going to use one of my all-time favorite foundations. This is Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. It's such a photo-ready, flawless inducing foundation. I'm going to buff that into my skin with a Real Techniques buffing brush. I'm going to counteract any blue bags under my eyes by using this Kiko Dark Circle Tone Eraser. It's kind of like a funny orange color, but it shears out really nicely and makes everything look a little bit brighter under there. I've done a whole contour and highlight routine, which I'll link below, but I'm just going to highlight my skin using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is just a couple of shades lighter than my actual skin color, and I apply that in a triangle motion from the inner corner of my eye down to the side of my nose, and then joining back to the other corner of my eye. And with my damp beauty blender sponge, which I run under cold water, I just bounce that, tapping that on the skin. This beauty blender is amazing. It meshes the product. Sorry guys, I just said mesh again for like the 800th time, but it just blends the product in really nicely with the skin. It kind of just makes the product more like skin and less like it's sitting on top of it. Kim's waterline was actually lined gold, which I thought was amazing, so I'm going to take my By Terry Ombre Blackstar and line my inner waterline with that as well. I think this gives the eye such an amazing pop. It looks so gorgeous. And then I'm going to dip my Real Techniques brush in the shade Texture, the more kind of bronzy orangey shade I used, and run that along my lower lash line. Those two steps I think just pull the whole eye look together. And then I'm going to curl my lashes, apply a lot of bottom lash mascara. Kim's lashes, her bottom lashes were seriously popping, so I applied a lot of mascara under there. And then I applied some fake lashes. These are the Ardell Demi Wispies. Kim had some seriously flawless golden bronzy skin, and when I posted this picture on Instagram, you guys were all obsessed with how bronze and glowing my skin was. So basically I started off by using my Clarins Instant Summer Bronzing Compact, which is one of my favorite bronzers because it's really peachy, but it still has that bronze, but it still gives you a bit of a contour. And then to further contour my cheeks, I took this Tarte angled brush and I used my MAC Harmony contour powder. It's kind of like a cold color, but it doesn't give you that muddy look, and I just swept that just below my cheekbone to kind of further enhance it. Next for blush, Kim's blush was super peachy, so I used one from Tarte today. Now I love these blushes because they last super long on the skin, and I just swept that just above where I applied my contour. For highlight, I used one of my favorite products. This was actually made by Mario. It's the Giella Eye M Glam, and you guys can see how gorgeous it looks on the skin. You can see me now. I look in the mirror, I see that highlight, and I just can't help but smile because I'm like, oh my gosh, this stuff is so gorgeous. I just wanted to powder my nose a little bit because it was looking a bit shiny, a bit too shiny for me, so I took my Bourjois Healthy Balance powder and just swept that around my nose. I actually did spend the day with Kim Kardashian's makeup artist Mario, so if you guys want to know more about that and his tips and stuff, I'll leave a link in the information box below. One tip he taught me was to take a little bit of your eyeshadow and apply it just around the bridge of your nose where your kind of eyebrow meets your nose, which is what I'm doing now. I'm taking matte cork, and you can see once this is done, it just pulls the whole eyes and skin together. It really makes such a subtle but amazing difference. I don't normally do too much with my brows, so I'm just going to use my Tarte the Brow Architect, run that through my brows a little bit to fill in any gaps. You guys know the drill with lips. I'm going to start my lips with my favorite Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk, just to overline them slightly, make them look a bit fuller, and it also helps whatever lipstick I'm applying over the top last longer. I'm going to use a really gorgeous peachy nude. This is MAC Shy Girl, and I'm just dabbing that onto my lips, blending it in with my fingers, and then applying another layer. This kind of helps the color pigment really stand out and helps it last longer on my lips too. Then I'm going to use this L'Oreal Nude Gloss over the top because Kim's lips did look super glossy. I love these because they're really moisturizing as well. And then I smiled and I was like, oh crap, I have something in my teeth. This is real time, people, so gotta get whatever the hell that was out of my teeth, and hopefully you didn't notice it throughout this video. I'm going to leave a playlist of my vlogs in the information box below in case you guys want to see what I get up to throughout the week. Don't forget, in case you want a bit more of me, I'm always on Instagram and Twitter, so I'll leave those links somewhere along the screen right now. But I think that's everything I had to plug, so I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! They were fat eyebrows, like they took thick. A thick like length away, so they took up a lot of surface area on the face.
And our faces were quite small
when I'm going
at this
to a hot
time.
place, I
You saw when you looked at us,
even though it
like
wasn't
big
even
eyebrows.
that hot in France last weekend,
And
I
then
still wanted to
that you had like the
mascara,
braces.
just in case, you know,